Hey, what's going on? It's the Petrolist.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dalton from the Petrolist, the biggest small Formula One YouTube channel on the internet. I am at 97 subscribers, so that makes me the largest YouTube outlet for Formula One under 100. Unless there's someone doing this who has 99 subscribers. Anyhow, things are heating up in the off season for Formula One. Sadly, we don't get a whole heck of a lot of insights. So, I've watched channels, other YouTube channels, and they're kind of in the same situation as I am. They're talking about kind of general updates to the gearboxes and the aero and all that kind of stuff of the W15, which is very exciting, but the proof is going to be in the pudding. We're not going to see if that car is going to be super competitive until the first race, or until we get access to view the first practice sessions and things get a little bit more open and apparent. And things over at the Ferrari factory are no different. I mean, they're going to be changing 95% of their cars. So in terms of me stating what the updates are going to be, I have a 95% chance of being right on anything that I say. So I could say they're going to fix the left-hand front corner of their front wing, and I would be correct. So I'm not going to talk about that. But I will say that Ferrari over the winter is trying to work on their aero, which means that they had to change their architecture or chassis to make sure that the aero bits they want to upgrade will fit around them. They want to improve downforce. Who doesn't? But specifically, they're looking at the floor and improving the Venturi channels to improve stability and downforce and high-speed turns. And they're going to be working on the diffuser as well. And much like Mercedes, they are doing a major gearbox redesign to adjust the size so that they can do further adjustments to aero, and they're changing out their rear axle. Now, that's Ferrari, and I'm sure with all the changes that Mercedes is doing to their overall vehicle, McLaren, so on and so forth, their clients are going to be doing those major changes as well. And hopefully what that yields is a phenomenal 2024 season. And from what I hear, I'm kind of pumped. I want to see what happens. Mercedes doesn't have to win. I would love for them to win. But as long as we have exciting races all year long, that is what the sport is about. Now, there's always a little something that you can talk about. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit more philosophical in nature, and I'm curious. I don't necessarily have the answer to it, and maybe some people out there leave some comments. Are F1 teams being a little too greedy with their driver selection? And so this is what I mean by that. So Mercedes has Hamilton and Russell. Ferrari has Leclerc and Sainz. McLaren has Norris and Piastri, and Red Bull has Verstappen and Perez, but they're looking to, I guess, upgrade Perez to someone with better performance. Well, with performance comes ego. And I would venture to say that what you need in Formula One is one, I guess you could say, alpha driver who wants to win at all costs, and another one who's amazing, but is just happy to be there, or at least can fake being happy to be there. I would say the quintessential co-driver of the modern era would have to be Valtteri Bottas. This guy, freaking amazing driver, but was able to be a successful number 2 driver for Mercedes for a very long time. I want to say he's basically the Scottie Pippen of the F1 world. I mean, Michael Jordan was an amazing, arguably the best pound for pound basketball player who ever walked the planet. And then you have Scottie Pippen on the same team, who could have easily carried a franchise of his own, but because he was paired with Michael Jordan, we're like, oh no, he's all right. This guy was amazing. Pippen was freaking amazing basketball player. So that's how I feel about Valtteri Bottas. When I look at Russell, he's extremely talented. I have said in previous videos, I think he's got a few rivals to kind of match up with first. Sainz, Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, and Perez all seem like more suitable rivals than a 7-time champion. I mean, you kind of need to, I think, at least win a championship before you can rival a champion, unless that champion has completely past his prime and can't drive anymore. I don't think that's the case with Lewis Hamilton. Leclerc versus Sainz. I honestly like Sainz as a driver better. Norris versus Piastri. I personally enjoy watching Piastri drive more than Norris. I feel like he's got more of an upward trajectory than Norris does. And when it comes to Perez v Verstappen, I don't know what they did to that guy through the middle of last season. I don't know if they tortured him in the basement or turned his car down, but after he spoke, a few words about possibly winning a championship, this guy looked traumatized, and his driving suffered as well. Now, let's look at history. I tried to do a little bit of research, but it's a little bit difficult to really get a sense of the history was unless you lived through it and really were taking notes of the rivalries. Back in the day, I wasn't really paying attention to the Formula One rivalries. I was paying attention to the Formula One champions. Now, one that did really stand out would be Webber versus Vettel.
A collision at a rain-soaked Fuji Speedway in 2007 lit the fuse on a rivalry between Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel that would boil over plenty of times over the coming years.
Over at Red Bull, they collided in 2007. They collided again in 2010 when they were battling for the championship. In 2013 in Saipang, Vettel battled Webber throughout the last lap and took the lead even though his team said not to. And maybe it's social media, maybe it's Drive to Survive, maybe right now they're highlighting the battles in the intra-team battles in Formula One a little bit more than they used to. And so maybe there's the feeling that there are more intense rivalries than there used to be. But I'm sure the nature of the sport, there's only 20 drivers on the grid. I'm sure the nature of the sport, it's got to be rare to get a driver who is that capable, who can also stomach being a number 2 driver. Let's see, 2019 Vettel versus Leclerc collision took both Leclerc and Vettel out of the race, so it was a double DNF. So yeah, the intra-team rivalries have always been intense, but I just wonder if in this last bit of the modern era, if they've been concentrating too hard on putting 2 future champions into the driver's seat. And I think that is causing a little more heartburn than usual. Man, I can't wait for the 2024 season. I need a couple of races to see where the cars really are. I think everybody does. The teams do. And I think it's going to be super exciting. I'm really hoping so, because I don't want a crappy 2024 season where one car dominates. Again, yes, I want Mercedes to win. Duh, I'm a Mercedes fan. But at this point, I want all the cars to be competitive so I don't fall asleep watching races toward the end of the season. Okay, on to my second favorite topic. Just kidding. Electric vehicles. There is an electric vehicle gas mileage equivalent scam. I am going to turn it over to Car Coach Reports for a second, because her channel, she does the best job of explaining these nuanced things. She does it really quickly, and here she is.
Credit to the Wall Street Journal for breaking this story. Under the Energy Department rule, car makers can arbitrarily multiply the efficiency of their electric vehicles by 6.67. That means that although a 2022 Tesla Model Y tests at an equivalent of 65 miles per gallon in a laboratory, roughly the same as a hybrid, it is counted as having an absurdly high compliance value of 430 miles to the gallon. That number has no basis in reality. Until recently, Washington regulators kept a special EV subsidy related to this a secret.
So in other news, Polestar is going broke. Apparently in the last couple of years, they lost $1.7 billion in valuation, and they are essentially useless to the parent company Volvo. EVs are freezing in Chicago. EV fires all over the place. These aren't my opinions, so if you're watching this video and you're an EV fan and you feel like making comments, the comments really won't make sense, because I'm not even saying opinions. I'm not even saying that I don't like EVs. I don't, but I'm not saying that right now. That's not the focus of this video. I'm just kind of reporting on the facts. So that's what's going on. Personally, I would buy a gas car moving forward, but that's just me. Speaking of gas cars, where is the new Nissan Z? So I live in DFW. DFW loves new car releases. If you want to see a new car in the wild, visit or live in the DFW area when they're released. When the new Bronco came out, I saw tons of them, to the point where new Broncos are commonplace here. When the C8 came out, I saw tons of them here, and they're now commonplace. The Supra came out when I was living in Seattle, and it wasn't until I moved to the DFW area that I saw just a ton of them everywhere. I fully expected the same thing with the Nissan Z. So far, I've only seen one Nissan Z. Great looking car. Did really well to track, which is where I saw said car, but I don't see that many of them around the DFW area, and I find that a little bit concerning. Just makes me wonder, is the platform too old? Are there so many 370Z owners or former owners out there that are thinking to themselves, that car is so similar to what I just got rid of, or what I currently have, that I'm not interested in paying a lot of money to get the same thing? I don't think it's the same thing. It's a different engine. The suspension has been tuned way differently, a lot more horsepower, a lot more tunability. And as a matter of fact, if I hadn't already kind of resolved in my head that my next sports car would be some sort of Porsche 911, I don't care if it's 996, 997, 993, well, I mean, that would be super expensive. But if I didn't have it already in my head that I wanted a 911 at some point, I think my next car would be Nissan Z. It looks amazing. It kicked ass. It kicked butt at the track day, and it really looks good in person. But it's one of the last kind of old school sports cars, even though it is, it is a twin turbo. But yeah, they're killing off the sports cars. Is that too strong a statement? There's still a lot of sports cars. But I'll just say this. I was really hoping for the Z to succeed. I will see in 2024. If I don't see a whole bunch of people driving the new Z in the Dallas area by the end of 2024, then I know that there is trouble for Nissan. That's all I'm saying. Alright, that was the Monday video. I will talk to you soon. I'm out.